What do you mean by POM?
Project object model.
Project object model. So we do have page object model and project object model. So when it comes to the Maven, so we will be calling this one as a project object model. Okay, so let's discuss about what is a POM and what are the different POM files available in the Maven. So if you see here, where is that? Okay, so if you see here, there are multiple POM files are available. So now if you see here, the basically the, as I explained you, the POM is nothing but a means a project object model, and then it will have the XML file. So now everyone knows that whatever the things which we are trying to do, we will be having an extension of the XML file. And in this particular XML file, what we are trying to do is we are just making the configurations. We are making the just configuration settings. And to make that particular configuration settings, we are using this particular POM file. Means what we are trying to say is, before you are doing the execution, when you need to do the execution, where you need to do the execution, what are the results it need to generate, what are the dependencies it need to download it. So all those particular informations we will be giving that particular configuration settings in the pom.xml file. So pom.xml file is nothing but it's a configuration settings which we are setting up for our executions. So now for my execution, in which phase or in which way it has to be executed, what are the plugins I need to use it, and what are the dependencies I need to use it for my executions, and what are the configuration settings I need to use it. So all those informations will be available in the pom.xml file. Okay, now if you open this particular pom.xml file, so there is a parent node, so which is called the project is a parent node. So this will be in the POM language, we will call this one as element. So project element. So if you see here, the project element should be started, and then the project element would be close. See now, before means if you wanted to close any particular tag, so we will be closing the tag with the slash. So now this is the opening tag and this is a closing tag. XML will completely depends upon the tags. So these are called as a tags. Okay, opening tag, closing tag. So now this is open, then definitely it should be closed. If you are not closing this one, this it will throw us error. So you have to be so cautious in this particular opening a tag and closing a tags. Now, if you see here, there are few other things are here. I'll come to back to this one. Now, if you see here, so this is the dependencies tag. Under the dependencies tag, we will have the dependency. So now I'll take something real-time example. So now if you take any particular one of the real-time project is this. So one of our friends has been created this one. Now, if you see here, under the dependency tag, okay, so I'll just collapse this all. Okay, if you see here under dependencies, see how many things we have been mentioned. So we are trying to get the Selenium dependencies, we wanted to get the PostgreSQL dependencies, and this is for the WebDriver manager dependencies. So we are trying to get all these particular dependencies, and then we are writing over here. Now if I wanted to change, means I wanted to update this particular dependency, I'll just go to here, and then here I'll be updating the version number. So whatever the version I updated here, it will, as we discussed earlier. So how the Maven repository works?
From the website of repository, we'll go and we'll select the.
What?
First, it will check the local repository. If it is in .m2 folder, if it is there, it will take from there. If it is not there, it will go to the central repository and it will download from there.
Excellent. So now, so first it will first check it in the local repository, and means whatever the Selenium jar files or the JUnit jar files or the TestNG jar files or the Cucumber jar files, all the dependencies will be defining over here. If you wanted the dependencies, so how we will try to do it? So we will directly go here and click here, Maven repository. So when you have been clicked on here, so we will go to the Maven repository, And from the Maven repository, you can search whatever you wanted. You can search. I wanted the Selenium, right? So I wanted Selenium. So I'll just click the Selenium over here. I'll be getting the Selenium Java, means which one you wanted. Selenium APIs you wanted, or server, or Firefox. So just we wanted the Selenium Java. Just we will click over here. And by the way, guys, so this is a Java platform. Now, if I wanted to have the type means JavaScript and everything, there is another repository like Maven, which is called NPM, Node Package Manager. So this is Maven. So this is a separate repository. Now we need to come over here. Which version you wanted to see? See now, Selenium has released Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the latest version now. So now what is a stable version? This is a stable version. Now I wanted to see now when it was released in November 18th. So these are very really important. Now you see the people will say in which version you have been worked. I worked on 3 which version? So now if you see here in 3, how many versions are there? So the 3 was released in 2016, and we do have more than 15 releases, not more than 15. So we have more than 20 plus releases happen in the 3. So especially you can see here 3.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we are at here 3.141.59 is a stable version which we are using it. So now we need to come here, just click on that one and go here and take this particular dependency, whatever the dependency we wanted, we can add it over there. So now I wanted to have the test-ng, right? I'll just go here. I'll search for the test-ng. I'll click on here. I'll come to the test-ng. I want the latest version of the test-ng is 7.3.0. So just click on that 7.3.0. Come here, take this complete, copy this particular dependency. Okay, go back to your editor. And this is what our dummy project, right, Mario? So I'll come to here and then see this is overall for the dependencies. Now I need to come here and then I need to paste it over here. So what is the Control-Shift-F? So Control-Shift-F will be making this aligned properly. So now you see here we have been added test-ng. If you see here, as of now, there is no test-ng jar files has been added over here. So now what I'll try to do, go to the Mario, right click on this one, come to the Maven, and here the Maven, you do have update the project. So as soon as you click the update the project, you can force update on the snapshot of the release. I'll let you know what is that particular thing in soon time. If you see here, it started building that one. Means it was trying to fetch the respective jar files. So it was checking that one, and then it has been downloaded over here. Now you seen here. So previously we do have seen only blue color jars. Now you are seeing the green color jars now. So these all jars are respective to the test-ng. So this is how it connected back and fetched the whatever the dependencies which we wanted. It has been downloaded here. So this also we have discussed in the previous session, but as we get into the POM file, how the POM file works, we are just trying to explain over here. So
one quick question, Chris.
Yes.
So as you did the dependencies, you just added one dependency here for a test-ng, right? So will this mean that without even doing the first test-ng setup, I can just directly go and put this dependency here? It automatically configures. I mean, it automatically downloads and put the jars here, right? Is this the case, or should we do it first? Like, for example, first we did the test-ng, do we download manually, added it in the jar in the project?
Those things are not at all required if you're doing with the Maven. So Maven, why you have started to do that one is, so you should know how to configure the test-ng first. At that time you downloaded it and then you have been installed it. Now here what we are trying to do is directly we downloaded it with the help of POM file, and then you are configuring it here. So it doesn't really matter anything. So now if you see here, if you wanted to go and execute, this will execute with the Maven, not with the test-ng. But if you have been downloaded and then done with that in the test-ng project, that it will come with run with test-ng.
Test-ng, correct.
But now this is running with the Maven, because the Maven has been downloaded all these things, and Maven have this, where it was lying in the Maven dependencies. But if you have done it with the test-ng, you'll be having test-ng dependencies. So that would be like a separate folder. It will comes like this. If you see in your projects,
Okay.
open and see that. So you'll be having JRE systems, and below that one you'll find the TestNG dependency, because that you are doing it with the TestNG, but here you are doing with the Maven. So that's the advantage of the Maven. There is no need to download all those things. So everything will be taken care by the Maven itself. See, now what I need to do, I wanted to see now what I'm trying to do, this is the latest version, right? I found that this version is not working properly for me. I wanted to use 7.1.0. Now what I'll try to do, I'll come here, I'll change this 7. I'm just trying to degrade. Few times few versions may not work for us. So at that point of time, what I'll try to do, I'll come over here and then I'll try to save this file, and then I'll once again what I'll try to do, see, as soon as I kept it, it downloaded the 7.10. I didn't even, I mean, by default it updated, auto updated. You see, once again, if you wanted, I'll try to do it. So previously we have been seeing it, right? So come over here, come to Maven, update the project, update it. See, it updated to 7.10. If you wanted to do it for 3, just 3. Now, once again, go back and then Maven, update the project. Okay. If you
It
see
will
here,
not. It will not, because you did not save the file.
sorry. Thank you. See, it updated to 7.30. Have you seen it, right? So that's what the beauty of the Maven. So you need to understand like how, when see, not nothing, just you need to come here whenever there is a version update, you need to come here and change it. So this is called dependency management. Dependency management. Now in the dependency management, so now all the jar files are available in the Maven repository. If at all if the jars are not available in the Maven repository, how you will handle?
External.
So then we will go for the external dependency. So I have that material, I think so here. External dependency. This is a material over here. Now, if you see here, what they will try to do is we need to manually download that one and we need to keep it, and then we need to keep that system path. So this particular element you need to define. In this one, what we need to do, we will download that particular jar file and we will add that particular jar file in our project source. In this Mario, I'll add that particular jar file here, and I'll be going to the pom.xml file, and with the help of the pom.xml file, I'll add this particular basic jar file. So this is how the dependencies will be defined. Any questions? So this is how the dependency management will work. So first, we need to know how the execution will happen and how the dependencies management will be happen. And then if the something jar files, see 98% you'll get all the jars. 2% you may not get that one. In my career, I've hardly seen some sandwich jars are not available. So for that, I have been defined over here. So probably 10 or maximum in my career, 10 times I maybe search for this. Apart from that, I don't have it. So now what we need to do, it is very simple. Download that, keep into your project library, and then you can give that particular path over here. What do you mean by this base directory? $ base directory?
Local system path.
Current project.
That is what the current project. So now it will go, means what is our current project path? So here right click, properties, and you see it, right? So this is what C users / say. Now my project has been residing here. So you don't need to every time give the C users HP demo. So rather than that, so what we will try to give is, so we will give this as a $ base directory. Base directory is nothing but your project base directory / sources. So where is our source in here? So here in this particular source, okay, source src / libs. We will be keeping, we will create a package for that, and we will keep that particular libs over there. So that's how it would be created. Okay, so this is how the external dependencies will be managed back. So any questions around this one? Are we clear? Guys, are we
Yes.
clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Any
yes,
questions on
Krish.
this one? Okay. Now, the most important pointer. So the many people, if you go for any interviews or anything, so immediately the people will ask you the questions about this one. So what do you meant by the group means the group IDs or the artifacts IDs or all these all things they will be asking you about it. What do you meant by a group ID?
Project ID.
Project ID. Mhm. Okay.
Actually, artifact ID is the project ID, and the group ID is in a project. We might be having different groups, so each group gonna get an ID.
Yeah, Abhilash, you are nearing to the answer. So now if you see here, so I think where is it? Okay, I think here it would be. Yeah, here if you go to I told you, right, this article you need to follow the tutorial point. Whoever attended for the last session, they will know about it. So guys, this is a most important and more easy and clear compressed version of the Maven official documentation. If you see here, that is what the official this is official documentation, and the compressed version of the official documentation is this. If you read this documentation, you can, this is more than enough. Okay, now if you see here, there are certain things. Now, first we need to understand what do you mean by group ID? What do you mean by an artifact ID? What do you mean by a version? And then what are these particular items over here? Okay, now if you see here, they have been given a very clear explanation on this one. Let's see what the things are they are talking about. Everyone knows that project is a root node or the root element for us, so that is where defined. And what is this XML, HTML, Apache, and then these all things? Why we need to write this one, guys? This is nothing but that's a basic schema for W3 standards. So this is means we will be having a W3 standards. So what do you mean by W3 standards? So when you went for this W3 standard, okay, by the way, first of all, what is a W3 standards?
Which can be worldwide acceptance of this.
See, this is a universal standards. It was defined for our web applications, which is a 3-tier applications. So what do you mean by WWW?
Worldwide.
Worldwide Web.
World Wide Web. So now across the World Wide Web, so that is called W3. So now for W3 means if you are developing certain web applications, you should maintain certain standards. So there is a forum and there is an organization, so which it will take care that if we are developing an application, if we are hosting an application into a website, means into the internet, so then that particular website should have, these are the minimum things it should have it. So these are the minimum standards you need to follow. So that's the way the W3 concern will form, and then this particular this particular forum will define the standards to the people. So before developing anything, so that is what the W3 standards. Now, so you can go on see. So it means you can see. So what is a W3? What is a mission? And these all things. So this when the web application started from there, this is there. So those guys only the authorized versions to say that this is right and this is wrong. So you need to follow that one. And now when you come over here, so they will be means of the same way for the XML also, they have been defined these particular standards for us. Now, when you are writing an XML file, you need to follow this particular standard over here. So what this exactly this will do, that is really not required for us. So that is a complete a backend mechanism. So if you return this particular tag in terms of your root node, it will take care of the backend mechanism and then it will root it out. So now if you see here, all the information, see now this is this schema location for this one, and then it will understand the schemas, means how this configuration works, and these all things are internal to the Maven. And guys, this is internal to the Maven. So now whatever the standards now we are going to set it up. So these standards are internal and specific to the Maven. So now every XML file I'll open and then I'll write it, that will not accept. For an example now, Do you remember our XML files, testng XML files? Where is the testng XML file? Output files, no, here, not here. XML files. Where is the resources? Test suits. So this is what our testng XML file, right? See, this is the testng XML file. Here, this is what we are defining. If you see here, so testng have this particular definition for that particular tag, but whereas the POM have this particular definition. So this is by default, it will be created. Nothing more we need to do. But whatever this one, if someone asks, is a basic schema which is defined from the W3 organization. And these are the internal operations. We will not even work on this one. Just by default, it will be generated. Just for your explanation, I just given for this one. Okay. Now, next we will go to the next pointer. What it will talks about the next pointer. We will see it here. What is the next pointer? We discussed the project root. So I told you, right, this is a root tag, and then it have the basic schema settings such as schema for W3 organization specifications. Now, next one we have the model version. If you see your pom.xml file, so the next one is the model version. So this is the version defined for the Maven. Okay, the model version for the Maven. If you see here, always it will have the 4. If they updated this one, they will change the model number. This till this particular point of line, it really doesn't matter for us. It was a default settings by the Maven. So I don't want to spend much more time. Now we need to come to the group ID. What is a group ID, artifact ID, and a version? So these are the things which we need to understand. So group ID is nothing but it's ID for a project groups. Means what do you mean by project group? I'm working with a JMeter tool. I will have a separate ID for that. And I'm working with the Selenium tool. I'll have a separate ID for that. And I'm working with the banking domain. I'll be having a separate ID for that. I'm working with Scala. So I'll be having a separate group ID. And I'll be working with the Gatling tool. I'll be having a separate ID for that, unique ID. But if you see here, banking domain, I was talking about it, but specific bank, I was not talking about it. Or in a bank specific module, I'm not talking about it. It's a group. It talks about a project group, means it's a higher level. It's a parent level. So it means it will means all means there is a bank, you know, right? So now if you see that, where is this? So now this is a bank. So under this bank, we do have a lot of things. We will have the credit and management, and then profit and loss. We will be having it, and we will be having the mortgage, and we will be having the loans. We'll have multiple things, right? Now, I'm creating a project under this one. So now, I'm very sorry what I written. Now this is a credit and management, right? So now this is a credit. Now this is a project I'm trying to do the automation. Now what I'll try to do is, under the group ID, I'll keep this one as banking. And in the artifact ID, I'll keep this one as a credit, or I'll keep the artifact ID as the mortgage, or I'll keep that one as loan, or I'll keep that artifact as a profit and loss. Got it right? So if it is a pair, it's a group of projects. The project group means whether it's a banking domain or the health domain, or means it's based upon the domains, it's based upon the tools. So this has been creating a particular unique ID was available in the Maven. When you are trying to create in the command prompt, you can clearly understand what are the IDs are available over here. Means the anyways that I'll be giving you an assessment. So there you can see there. In the command prompt, when you try to do it, we need to select an ID. If it is a simple ID, then we will be selecting it as a simple, there will be a number. If it given that particular number, according to that number, it will fetch out that particular tool or particular domain. According to that, it will start creating that particular project for us. So now in this particular POM file, so now that's what the basic differences which we will have it. So this is what the group ID and this is what the artifact ID. So the group ID should be unique and the artifact ID also should be unique. You shouldn't give the same names. Okay.
One question, Chris. So here you gave an example like for banking and these all the pair. So can I consider that the group ID is the parent? What if we have multiple hierarchies like for this credit, some credit module has like something else, and I'm trying to test that. Okay, so my group ID would be what, banking or credit?
See, now frameworks would be created at, actually the framework will be created at this level for a common. So for all the projects, it should be common. In the worst case, it will come at a next level. Apart from this, there is be no, because the framework is a common framework which will be creating it, right, Pramod? So that would be at a high level itself. So for every entity, that's the worst place we will be creating it. For every project, will you create a framework? See, now there is a banking project. Now, do you wanted to create every time a project, means every time you wanted to create a separate means framework for that? Okay, in the worst case, you wanted to create that one also. So how at that time we wanted to write it means, now how I will write for that one. I'll just try to once again do that. First, means I'll be defining my group ID, right? So I'll first write my group ID. Okay, this is in my tag, and this is my closing tag. Okay, here I'll be writing my com dot banking. I'm not able to write with this mouse, so I'll just please try to understand this. So com dot banking. Next one, what I'll try to do here, I'll be writing my artifact ID, right? In the artifact ID, what I'll try to do, this is credit. You are saying that under credit I have something. What I'll try to do, I'll keep an underscore, and this is one, the P1 or the project name. So credit in this one, credit project 1 I have been written over here. Now I do have another classification here. So now here I have project 1 and project 2, and now here also once again I have the classification. Write it over here, credit underscore project 1 underscore project.
So however, this is for our reference only, without getting confused. Okay, there is nothing to validate here or nothing.
No,
logic
nothing. You can write it like a stupid. It will take it. You can take it like idiot. You can take it. You wanted to write a law for, even if it will take that. So you don't have the intelligence. It will just take that. That's it. Okay. So that should be unique. So whatever the thing you are writing, if you are writing law for, that should be law for should be unique. It shouldn't have means conflicts. Okay, that is what it will help, like a artifact ID and then group ID. Okay, if you read the definition, it is an ID of a project group generally unique among the organization or a project. And this is an ID of a project. It's an individual project here we are talking about. It's a parent group we are talking about over here. Okay, that's the basic differences. Now, the most important topic we wanted to discuss, the versions. Okay, when it comes to the versions, so the versions will be defined with this, means what is a version of this particular framework. Now this framework, which whenever I'm trying to create the framework, I'll be giving the version number as 1.0 or 2.0. So that we will be writing it over here. Now don't get confused with the snapshot. I'll come to the snapshot later. So now just as of now, you need to understand that. So how we are giving the version number, so it will go to that particular version number, and then just we can have a clear vision. So we'll be having a soft upgrades and then hard upgrades. Soft upgrades are nothing but like if you made some minor changes in that particular version, you will name it as 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. If you make a major upgrade, then it will go for 2. So if it is soft upgrade, then you will be giving it as 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. If it is a major upgrade, then it will go for 3. All those things you will be writing with that one. So now this framework, I am updating with the, means when I started the base Scratch framework, I started with 0.1. And when it was stable, I'll mention this one as 1.0 framework. Because if you see, this is also one of the frameworks, right? One of the tools, right? So when they started with 1. So now they should know the version of that one. The same way, now tomorrow I created a framework and I can give it to the people. So the people can take this particular group ID So this, now if you see here, this is what the group ID for the Selenium. See, org Selenium HQ Selenium, and artifact ID Selenium-Java. So this is what the artifact ID, and the version of this one, which version you wanted to pick it up, we will be getting that particular version. Understood? So that is called the version. Now, snapshot. What do you mean by a snapshot? There is a good example here when we are talking about the snapshot. Now, so this is a version of that particular project. And so how you will be mentioning that particular version means, so this is the standard pattern to mention that one. So group ID colon artifact ID colon the version number we will give it. So now group ID will be starts from com.bank, means he have been taken bank example, same bank example, company.bank. Now in the banking we'll have the consumer banking. So consumer banking is nothing but artifact ID, and the version is 1.1. Now this he wanted to go from version 1.0 to version 1.1. Then he'll write the same pattern and you can keep it over there. And Chris, I don't want to give, I can give only 1.0. Why I wanted to write all these things? Okay, right? Did who stopped you? None of the people will stop. So now if you see that Selenium, so did they given the group ID colon the artifact ID and the version number? No, directly they have been given the 7.3 or 3.141.59. They have been given it. Okay, fine, let it take. Got it right? So this is how the group means. This is what the group ID, artifact ID, and the version. So which is you are seeing over here. And coming back to the snapshot. So this one is an interesting discussion. We wanted to know. I just mentioned group ID versus snapshot. Whether we have that here or. See, what is the basic between the version and the snapshot means? For an example, there is a team. It means the team is working on this. Just a second. Once again, I'll take this marker. Now there is a team working. Now this is a development team. Okay, and this is the testing team. Usually, development team will work, and they will give us the project so that the testing team will take that and they will test it. Now, first version they have been created means, okay, I'll take the example of the Gmail. In the first 1.0, what they have done the inbox. So now what in the project version, they will be giving it as 1.0. And now the next version of this one, 1.1, they have been loaded with Outbox. So then they will update this 1.1. So I'll be directly fetching 1.1. I'll be doing it. And in the next version, they'll do it as 1.2. And I'll be looking at, there is a trash they have been developed. So now I'll be getting this latest functionality. Means this includes inbox, outbox plus trash also in the 1.2. So that's what I'll be trying to bring it. Now, if you see here, according to the standard numbers, then that only I'll be bringing it up and then I'll be testing it. If I wanted to get 1.1, I'll get the 1.1 only. If I wanted to give 1.0, I'll get only 1.0. So that is what the version, exact version number you need to define it. So exact that particular version only you'll be getting over here. Now, the development team we have raised the bugs, they have been fixed it. And when they have been fixed it, so the same version they have been done, but we don't know that. So what they will try to do it. So at that point of time, they will keep that 1.0 snapshot -snapshot. So what do you mean by snapshot means? It will fetch the latest version of that particular document, of that particular version. Whatever the latest code available, so that latest code will be derived by the snapshot. It will not depend upon the version. It will take on this particular version number, whatever the latest code it was having it, so that it will get it. So version will fix to the number, but whereas the snapshot will fix to the latest version of that one. So that's a basic difference. See guys, it will not go directly to 1.2. It will go here itself. Whatever the latest code for that one, it will go to that one. It might be a slightly confusing. So you just note the difference. one difference you need to understand. Version means it will go directly to that respective number, exact number, but snapshot will get the latest version of that particular number. So in the 1.0 itself, whatever the things are the latest, I mean, it will not fix it to that one. It will get that latest version of code. So because in the code, we'll have the commits and all the things. I don't wanted to talk about the commits and all the things because you'll be getting confused. That's the reason I'm avoiding that particular terminology, because we will fetch all the code and everything from our Git repositories and all the repositories. So if I'm bringing the latest committed version, so that committed version, it will be bringing over here. I don't wanted to use that terminology. That's the reason I'm saying that latest version of that particular 1.0 will be get back with the help of snapshot. That's the basic difference between the version and the snapshot. So are we clear with this? Any doubts?
Clear.
No.
No means you are understood or not understood or doubts?
Right, it's clear. I don't have any questions.
Okay, okay, thank you. So this is what the POM file which we wanted to discuss about it. And we wanted to discuss about the plugins and all the things, but we will get into the individual topics, and if you discuss that, it would be very useful and great. Before going to this particular document, I wanted to show you some particular diagram so that it is very easier for us to understand about this. So now if you see here, this one diagram will gives us that particular picture. Oh, it's loading. So we need to remember this. This is very, very important. VCT, okay? VCT and PIV, PIV and ID, or you can remember however you want it. So I'll take the first letters of this particular phases, and then I'll be trying to remember. Now, if you see this Maven lifecycle, because many people will get confused. There are many phases in the Maven. I'll let you know what are the things you need to remember. Okay, in Maven lifecycle, they will be having three major life cycles will be there. One is default, one is clean, one is site. Site is used to generate the artifacts. Where the site will be there means, if you go to your Maven project, in the targets, this site will be generated. Okay, whatever the execution artifacts we wanted, so that execution artifacts will be generated by site. And for this site, it will have the life cycle for this. You know, right? The life cycles we discussed previously. We have discussed means SDLC, STLC, ACLC, BCLC. In a similar way, this is also a site life cycle. Site life cycle is nothing but means we will be having the pre-site, site, post-site, and site deployed. So Chris, we need to know all these things? Really not. None of the people. The first of all, the interviewer also will not understand these all concepts, because means Maven is ocean, and this is completely for the from the developer point of view. It will help a lot, but later on with the for the automation, we have been adopted this one, and then even now this without having the Maven, none of the frameworks will be defined. Maven or Gradle or Ant. You go for any framework in the market. And Maven is an advanced, means a little bit advanced version when compared to all. Previously, we used to work on Ant. Now we migrated to the Maven. If you see here, just you need to know site, pre-site, post-site. What is the problem? Very simple. And site deployed. What we will do exactly in this space, we will come to there. Just hold on. Now come to the clean. Clean, pre-clean, post-clean. What is this? Okay, keep this apart. What we will do in the pre-clean, what we do in the post-clean, we will come there. Now, we do have the phases: validate, compile, test, package, integration test, verify, install, and deploy. And these are But these phases, as of now, it's not really required to remember. None of the people can remember all these things, but at least we need to know this major phases. And another pointer, Maven will execute in a sequence of their phases. If I wanted to execute verify, or if I wanted to execute install, it will cross all these things. Then only it will come to here. You see the arrow marks? So this will follow a sequential execution. It will not jump directly to the install, means only this phase will be executed. No. It will come validate, compile, test, package, integration, and then it will come to the install. If you're calling this particular phase, internally it will call, but if you're not defining anything, then it will not do anything. See, remember one thing, every phase will have a goal. Goal is nothing but it's a task. Task is nothing but, I asked, Pramod, bring me some water. Or Pramod, you do this work. I'm giving you a task. I'm saying you that particular task, right? So those tasks are called as goals. Every phase will have the task. Very simple to understand, right, guys? Means it is really very hard. When I was trying to learn this one, I struggled a lot, and many a times I stopped it. And I complete, means whatever the project it required for the framework, I used to learn it. But whenever I'm getting an issue, I used to spend lots and lots of time. So then I'm not left with the option rather than learning this. So learn this one and then go to the frameworks. Then only it will help you, or else you'll need to spend a lot of time. Okay. Now we do have this phases, and phase will have the goals. We understood this pointer. Any questions in this one? Now what we will try to do, what is validate, what is compile, what is test, we will look into it. And this is very simple to understand. The name, it's a self-explanatory. By the name itself, we can easily understand them, and then we can do that. Okay, now I'll come to this, the build cycle. Now if you see here, validate, compile, test. If you go to the different documentation, you'll have different ones. Now let's see the official documentation for this particular builds, Maven build lifecycle. Where is that? Where is that? This is one build cycle. If you see here, there are many phases. Means actually these phases are there, right? If you see all these particular phases, I'll just mark, just keep that in mind. These are all things, they'll call it as phases. See what I should learn for to avoid that particular confusion. I shown you this particular diagram. Now validate, and in compile, I have all these particular phases. In test, I have all these phases. And in package, I have all these phases. And integration test, I'll have this particular phases. And then verify, install, deploy. If you go and map this one to your documentation, now you can see all these things. Whatever the phases you are seeing over here. So according to that one, he designed this particular diagram over here. You can just verify. I verified this one, on that only I was saying it. So he has been very clearly, see now this life cycle for the clean, and this is what the default life cycle, which we are talking about, and this is the site life cycle, which we are seeing it over there. Now let's come back to the things. This is the mini version or the compressed version of the Maven life phases. First we will see these things. We will try to understand. Prepare resources. What it will do, it will do resource copying. Resource copying means from where it will try to copy. It will copy from the local repository to your project. That is what it was trying to do, right? If that is not there in the local repository, it will go and fetch from your Maven repository. Now, if you wanted to customize anything, you need to go to this particular phase and you need to customize that particular resources in this particular phase. Because if you wanted to execute, first you need to get all those resources, right? Resources is nothing but your jar files. You need to get all those particular jar files. So customizing that particular resources, if you wanted to do any customization at the resources level, resources copying level. See guys, you need to remember, mark the word copying. It is not changing the resources. If you wanted to copying that particular thing, if you wanted to make anything, you will be using this phase. You forget that phase. Okay, fine, not a problem. But these are the important phases which you need to remember. VCT PID. So from here, you need to understand. Validate. Validate the information. Compile. Compilation. Test. Testing. Package. Packaging. Install. Installation. Deploy. Deploying. So you are thinking that I'm adding ing words to this. You see the code. Now you can easily understand here. What do you mean by validate? Validate if the project means if the project is correct and if all necessary information is available or not. What it will do, validate if there is any errors or any issues, whether the project is rightly set up or not. So the settings, and then if there any required resources are available or missing, so that it will check. So that is what this phase will do. Compile. What it will do? Compilation of our source code. So compilation of the source code will be done in this phase. Test. Test the compiled source code suitable for the framework or not. Okay. Test the compiled source. Now, what means you remember, right? Once the code is compiled, it will generate the dot class files, pass it to the JVM. JVM converts into the low level language and the execution will start. So the testing is nothing but it will test that whatever the code is compiled. The execution means that will start doing the test. So now what is a test? So if you see here, whenever we are executing this Maven projects, that's the reason what we will try to do. We'll go to the Maven and then we will try run as, and you'll go to the Maven test. Have you understood? You're executing this, right? If you click this one, it will start doing the execution. So the test will execute this one. Packaging. Packaging means what? I will convert my complete project into a jar and then I can put it for someone else, whoever wanted, they can use it. Now, Selenium people done the same thing, right? They constructed the complete framework and they made it as a jar and then they threw it into the market. So we are taking that and then we are trying to use it. Similar way, you can convert that one and then you can means you can make a jar. See now, if you are going for a tour, what you'll do, you'll pack all your luggage. So that is what it was trying to do. It will pack all your files, jar files. So that is called the packaging. And installation. What is this installation? It clearly explains it. This phase installs the package into your local Maven repository. Some dependencies were not there. Then what it will try to do? It will go to the remote, fetch that dependency and install in your machines. So that is what it will try to do it. And deploy. So deploying is nothing but means you know, right? The deployments means you are going to the live. So when you are going to the live from one environment to another environment, you will deploy your code. So this is what copies the code from means the final package to the remote repositories or remote environment. One place to one place. If you are changing something, one environment to another environment, if you are pushing the code, then that is called the deployments. So to do the deployment, we can have this particular phase. Major phases are validate, compile, test, package, and install. This we will not use it from the testing point of view. Deploying, the developers will do it. We will not do that. But installing, making the packages, test, compile, validate, these 5 phases, we will do it in our Maven repository. So now we know that there are phases, and each phase what means there are multiple phases in this one. So now if you see here in the compile, it will initialize, means what are the things happen in the compile? It will initialize, it generates the sources, it processes the sources, generate the resources, process the resources. See, generate the sources, process the resources, generate the resources, process the resources. Now here the test, it process the classes, generate the test resources, process the test resources, generate the test resources, process the test resources, and process the test classes. All these things not really required to remember at all. So those are the internal mechanisms. If someone asks you what is a Maven build life cycle, you need to say that this VCT PID. So validate, compile, test, package, integrate, install, and deploy. These things are the most important phases we should understand. And in each phase, we will have the goals. Now we need to understand how we can give the goals for that one. So by this, I didn't see the time. It's already 10:34. So I just wanted to stop here. So I'll give you a pass. So I know that you are already in the sleepy mode. I don't know how many people were slept, but still, I wanted to stop it here. So any questions or any